there, welcome back to A Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie and today's another Smash Your Stash video. This is a collaboration where we try and use or focus on different items in our scrap rooms or craft rooms and use them up. Today's June's challenge is unfinished projects, and for me I am choosing to focus on my 2010-2011 chronological album, which yeah, I mean, it was a while ago, right? So I stopped scrapbooking chronologically a while ago, and what that ended up resulting in is that I never seemed to finish anything. That being said, I was pretty close to finishing 2010, so I figured this was a good project to push through just to say it's done once and for all. So I'm going to share with you, most of these layouts are from 2010, with the exception, I think, of maybe a couple that are from 2011. I used a combination, actually quite a few of my base pages. So if you've never seen my base page videos before, I'll leave a link to the playlist below, just so that you can check those out if you are interested. This is also, as I mentioned, a collaboration, so be sure to click on the hashtag of this video and see what everybody else was up to for this month. So let's get going. I've made all scrapbook layouts, I already alluded to. This first one is a picture of my niece. This was a base page, and the only elements that I added was this pink cardstock and the title, of course, the photo, and I added the hash marks all the way around. And that one was done super quick. That was from the 2011. In addition to my chronological album, I have a work trip album for 2010, which I'm also focused on hopefully getting done this year, but I have a little bit more work to do. But I did make some progress on that as well. So this is one of the layouts. This was a Scrapbook Generation sketch, and I pulled some of my Paige Evans cardstock and just embellishments from my die cut sticker binder. This was another sketch. I think it was a Scrapbook Generation as well. I went with some older distressed cardstock, so you can see how it's kind of got that older look. I'm not sure what time period it was, maybe like 2008, 2010, how appropriate. And I pulled in some Tim Holtz embellishments to kind of just tie that together. I went super simple, you guys, because I just want to get this done. So most of these layouts are very simple in design and simply embellished. And these are all going in that work trip album. I made a few trips to Ontario, Canada, and one of them was when I visited Niagara. They have a butterfly house, which I got to tour. So that's this one, again, using more of Paige Evans paper and some of the Tim Holtz butterflies. I actually had this scrapbook paper for a very long time. I probably purchased it in 2010, so it was fitting that I finally used it. I had a postcard from some of the stuff that I was doing, so I added that in here, some little memorabilia, and just some basic journaling, which of course I messed up, and it bothers me, but not enough to worry about fixing it. This layout here was just about getting the photos on the page. It was another Scrapbook Generation page sketch. This particular paper collection was from Stampin' Up. It was from a 6x6 paper pad, and I had been using that paper pad to document most of Niagara Falls, and so this is just kind of connecting that section of the book together. I had also documented quite a bit of my trip to the Royal Botanical Gardens in Ontario. It just needed a cover page and then this memorabilia. So this is adhered down onto the page. Obviously this will go in a page protector and it will have to be pulled out in order to access, but I'm okay with that. This was a base page, so all of this was pretty much done. I just added the memorabilia. The journal card was actually with the base page, title, and a few of the stickers. In addition to base pages, if I take classes, I don't always add photos right away. This was a class from Simple Stories that was offered through one of my local scrapbook stores, and I thought this was a great way to summarize some of the trips that I made in 2010. This will go in my chronological album. So the details of all the work trips go in the work album, and then I do a little bit of a summary highlights in my chronological album as a nod. So this was a class that I finally used up. So I think the rest of these are all for my 2010 chronological album. I have a video featuring this one and how I came up with this. I'm not sure if it's up already. If it is, I will leave a link in the description below. But this was a base page as well. So this was another Scrapbook Generation layout. I just modified it to make it work for my particular photos. And I believe this was a Dear Lizzie collection. This is from that same Simple Stories class. Again, just put a few of my favorite photos for the 2010 chronological album. Super simple, a little bit of journaling, added Niagara Falls and the photos, and that was it. This is a My Mind's Eye collection, and I'm actually using this collection in the actual travel journal itself to document this trip up the coast. So it was only fitting that I used it for the highlights page that is going in my chronological album. I don't do a lot of journaling because of course that's covered in the work album in detail. I took an SCT Crop and Create last fall. This is the Vicki Boutin layout that we had done. Again, it had spots for 2 photos. I just added my photos now, documenting this Bon Jovi concert. And maybe it's a little too girly for them, but you know, I thought it worked with the ticket and film strip and stuff. It just kind of had that kind of vibe, so I'm happy with how that turned out. This was another base page that was sitting in my stash. It just worked out perfect with what my grandmother was wearing. I just added a few tags and these embellishments and the title, and that is done. This is also another base page. I pulled out some wood veneer and some enamel dots, added a title, a little bit of journaling and a photo, and that was it. And then the last thing I needed to document was a family reunion. And to be honest, I was not feeling very inspired. So there's very minimal embellishments with this. I pulled out a photo play camping collection because we did camp for this family reunion. And I pulled out some pocket pages just as a way to get through the photos. So I pulled an old title from, I think, Bella Boulevard. Chipboard title, stickers from the collection, paper from the collection, and then of course there's a pocket page. This was paper from the collections as well as stickers, and same deal here. And then a smaller insert with the pocket cards from the collection, just photos, and then this is basically a mirror of this. And just an extension of the title that could either be read as a whole, or because it's separated, it kind of lends itself to documenting the story a little bit more. Now, because I have a lot of people in these photos and it is a family reunion, what I did on the back of this page is I actually numbered the photos and documented who's in each just for reference. I didn't feel like putting it on the actual layout itself. I just thought it would be a bit much. So that is how I am dealing with that. So that, my friends, is June 2023 Smash Your Stash Uncompleted Project Edition. I hope you're inspired to dig out a uncompleted project in your stash and work on it this month. Be sure to check out the other collaborators. And until next time, happy crafting.